Myri is back in the courtroom after lunch. She's joined us. We're still with Sergeant, what's his name, Shannon. And he was asked, you know, we're in the cross-examination, he was asked how many people had their hands on the firearms. They changed the narrative again today. A great group of people down here. The most people we've had in the courtroom yet. We've got a great group down here as well. Thank everyone so much for coming. We had a personalized home pizza while we were here for lunch. That was amazing and really appreciated. Like I said, we've got people from Idaho, we've got people from Minnesota, we've got people from all over Nevada.
Go ahead and go. Mine's not going.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. Come on, baby.
Hey, nothing over here.
Connecting.
Yeah. Greg was actually doing really well in court. I would say today I saw him looking better than I've seen him look in a while. I don't know if that's because they were talking about him. He's very alert, but he looked from what I could see. Are you good to go?
It's not going to go. You might as well go.
So they've changed the narrative. Now they're saying, you know, they were saying a lot of people pointing rifles, and now they're changing the narrative to the people had their guns slimed over their chest and their hands at somewhere on that. They're now calling that people with firearms in their hands. And so they've kind of changed that up a little bit. This gentleman says that he texted his ex-wife that he loved her because he didn't think he was going to get out of there. And that it was not typical for people to have their weapons in their hands when officers are around because that makes them officers uncomfortable. He was concerned for his safety the moment he arrived and after he left. So Perez got up there and he said, when you talk to people, they said they wanted to see the cattle free. And you said that from law enforcement standpoint that they had understood the cattle would be set free. And then he was asked, well, how long? And he couldn't really say. He also did say that the cattle were going to be released because of the tensions and to get the BLM out safely. So this gentleman's basic point for being there, he is highway patrol. He was called at 6:30 in the morning and told that they were in this area and they were going to help Department of Transportation set up barriers in between one of the lanes of traffic to get the BLM out of there. That's at 6:30 in the morning. And then later his duties changed to crowd control. So at 6:30 in the morning, the BLM was already planning on leaving the day, and they were already planning on having highway patrol and night off come down and put barriers up so that they could not be had a safe and swift exit from the area. He's got his dash cam video and he goes through a lot of it and he points out trucks and he points out the one truck and he says, well, back on the blade with the thing up, and he's like, well, he feels that that gentleman had posture that would be threatening, yeah. And he said, well, what exactly was he doing? And the guy couldn't ever come up with, and he said this many different times about many different people, and he could never really say what about their posture, but the truck was going under 10 miles an hour, and he also brought up the fact he everyone there. He was afraid of everyone who was not law enforcement. And he did a video, and he played the video, and this is after watching the video, played for a very long time, and he calls, you know, there's this one person in the video called Citizen of Nevada is how they refer to him. He talks about the times he talked to Citizen of Nevada. He pretty much proves with the video that the man sat on the Jersey barrier and his weapon was not on over the barrier like he had said before. He proved that it was slung across his right shoulder and not across the front of his body like he was talking about before. And he proves that it was never pointed over the barrier. He also proves, they brought up that at one point he had something in his hand. He proves it was water. He had taken out of his pocket, drank some water, put it back into his pocket. Jackson gets up there because they did bring up Greg's photo and talked about how Greg was dressed, the fact that he had Minuteman on his hat. And Jackson asked, so when you interviewed my defendant, and the guy said, well, no, I spoke to him, I interviewed, but he said something around 20 minutes. And then they talked about his police scanner. He had a radio that the gentleman said that it was surprising to him, or it made him jealous that he could hear the Metro's radio communications over Greg's radio better than he could hear it over his own radio. And then he was asked, well, is it illegal to have that, which was objected to because it goes to a legal stance. But he said, can you buy it at the store? And he said, yes. And then he was asked if he ever took a picture of that. No, if he followed him down. Leventhal gets on, and he proposes Exhibit 5043, a dash cam video, one of his dash cams that was not entered. In this dash cam, you can see and you can hear audio from his dash cam, and he goes back to the car at one point and gets on the radio and says, everything is peaceful down here, everyone is happy. Then in the video, you see him shaking hands, patting, Nevada citizen on the back. The armed man walks up to him, he pats him on the back, that's armed citizen. He moves on, Tomasi gets up, he talks about the briefing at the substation and the fact that they were going to make out while they were going to leave at 6:30 in the morning. They found that out. He met with the U.S. Attorney's Office 3 or 4 times. He met with the FBI to prepare his testimony. I thought that line of questioning has been done every time, but I think this time it went a little better than before. He did almost go and sit down before asking those questions, but did continue with them. Then Jess goes up and brings up that he was fearful before he even got to the wash. So everyone's coming in and they're so scared and they're so fearful, but pretty much everyone on the stand has said that they were fearful before they even got to the wash. So it's pretty much stating that you're fearful by the environment and what you've heard about the environment versus by these people. Then he brings up the fact that, would he say that Nevada citizen was helpful to him? And he said yes. And he said at one point when they had a conversation, the Nevada citizen said that he was in somebody's crosshairs and that the officer should move back. And then Jess says, well, so you were afraid of this man, but he was helpful to you. Again, he brings up he was afraid of everyone that day. Didn't matter if they had a weapon, just if they were not law enforcement, he was afraid of them. The government goes up and recrosses and brings up points about not enough people to be able to watch Greg when he goes down into the wash. And why he patted Citizen of Nevada was that it was the end of the day and that he did it to relieve tension. And that he did reason he got in there. This goes back for recross and plays the video yet again. Like, well, we'll watch this video one more time and stop me when you see someone doing something threatening. You see these mannerisms you keep talking about. And at one point he stops and he says, well, you're not going to see it on the video. It's something that you feel. So he's sitting there telling them, like, we've got video. You can't see anything in the video, but it's there, but it's just not on the video. And he says this through the entire video continually over, well, you can't really see it here, but this is what's going on. And he was giving testimony to the video of what someone's doing over here, when in the video you can see that he had his back turned to that person, and that was objected to on multiple times. Next, the government calls Hugh, Gorgian, his last name, he's French. Does that
Yeah, I
seem
think
like
it's French.
So he's French.
He sounded
and
French.
He's got a really thick accent, so this is good. You know, it went really slow through there. He was one of the protesters, someone that had come from Sandy, Utah. He took cell phone pictures and then some cell phone video that I believe he said he was taking because he thought he was taking pictures and ended up taking short videos. He took pictures of going down. He caught a ride with someone, went down into the walk, got a picture of the prayer, talked about the children again. He one of his videos, he goes up under the abutment of the northbound, not the southbound lane, and he takes videos down there, and you see people down there with him. They start bringing that up, so now it's confusing whether they're talking about the original people were the southbound lane, but now they're bringing up people under the northbound lane. Not sure about that. He went up there because he feared he was going to be shot. They went right over that. I didn't want to bring that up again. At some point, he went up and down through the wash. He went down into the wash, back up the road, back down under the abutment, back up to the road. And then he brings in a bunch of pictures and videos. So here's his picture. It's got Eric Crone on the bridge. He's got another picture that's Scott Drexler Crone on the bridge. He has pictures with a couple people kneeling down. He said that the FBI came to his home and his work with a subpoena to get his pictures. He then gave them to his attorney, and the attorney then gave them to the government. Then they tried to bring in an email that he got from Carol Bundy talking about the event. There was an objection to that with the whole 501c3b3 or whatever it is, which means co-conspirator statements. There was an objection that Carol's not a co-conspirator. It was sustained at the moment, and I guess the government plans to prove she is later on and bring in more information from the Bundy website and the emails that were going out. One thing that I failed to mention earlier is they did identify Ricky Loveland. Todd Engel is citizen of Nevada. Ricky Loveland was a guy in fatigues, and Greg Burleson, they just had a picture of him, what he was wearing, and that he talked to this officer. So, yeah, they did mention that he believed Ricky was a superior because he came up and citizen of Nevada stopped having his conversation with him. Oh, and he made a phone call at one point. So if you're ever at a protest, don't make a phone call, or I guess everyone will think you're the boss.
Never even talk to each other when they
and so, yeah, they're pretty much saying that Ricky was in charge of the people on the bridge, and with no evidence whatsoever. All of he's saying is like all these people in there, the way they were standing and the positioning themselves was in a threatening way, but you can't see it on the video. They cross-examined that guy and pretty much blew him out of the water. I think everything he said, you know, they watched the video 3 times in a row, and nowhere in this video do you see anything that he's talking about. So I think that was pretty good. We're still in direct examination of Hugh, and that will continue tomorrow morning. Like I said, Greg looked good today. I know everyone was asking. He looked alert and awake. Maybe it was because they were talking about him more, but he did look okay, made it through the day all right. Thanks, everybody.
8 o'clock tomorrow.
8 o'clock tomorrow.
8 a.m.
Are you good to go?
It's not gonna get. You might as well go.
So they've changed the narrative. Now they're saying, you know, they were saying a lot of people pointing rifles, and now they're changing the narrative to the people had their guns slimed over their chest and their hands at somewhere on that. They're now calling that people with firearms in their hands. And so they've kind of changed that up a little bit. Idaho, we've got people from Minnesota, we've got people from all over Nevada.
Just go ahead and go. Mine's not gonna.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. Come on, baby.
Hey, nothing. Okay. We have a great group of people down here. The most people we've had in the courtroom yet. We've got a great group down here as well. Thank everyone so much for coming. We had a person by called people for my job. Myri is back in the courtroom after lunch. She's joined us. We're still with Sergeant, what's his name? Shannon. And he was asked, you know, we're in cross-examination, he was asked how many people had their hands on the firearms. They've changed the narrative again today.
Connecting.
Yeah. Greg was actually doing really well in court. I would say today I saw him looking better than I've seen him look in a while. I don't know if that's because they were talking about him. He's very alert, but he looked from what I could see.